More than 2,500 years ago, one man made a quiet decision that still echoes through the lives of millions today. He did not conquer a nation. He did not command an army. He did not build an empire. Instead, he walked away. He left comfort, power, and certainty behind, not because he lacked them, but because they could not answer a question that was burning inside him. Why do human beings suffer? And is there a way to live without being crushed by pain? That decision, made in silence, under the weight of an inner crisis, reshaped how humanity understands suffering, meaning, and peace. This is the story of Siddhartha Gautama. This is the story of the Buddha. And this is one of history's greatest existential moments. Siddhartha Gautama was born into privilege. His father, a king, was determined that his son would never experience suffering. From the moment Siddhartha entered the world, his life was carefully designed to protect him from discomfort, loss, and uncertainty. He lived behind palace walls. He wore fine clothes. He ate rich food. He was surrounded by beauty, music, and pleasure. Even illness, aging, and death were kept far away, hidden from his eyes. And yet, something was missing. Despite all the comfort, Siddhartha felt a quiet unease. A sense that something fundamental about life was being ignored. A question formed inside him, long before he had words for it. If suffering exists, and I know it must, what happens when I finally face it? In modern life, many of us live the same way. We chase comfort. We avoid pain. We distract ourselves with work, entertainment, and achievement. And still, that same unease finds us. One day, Siddhartha left the palace. And what he saw shattered the illusion he had been living in. First, he saw an old man, frail, bent, and exhausted. Then, he saw someone sick, trembling, and weak. Then, he encountered death, a body being carried away, final and irreversible. And finally, he saw a wandering ascetic, poor, quiet, and strangely peaceful. These sights became his existential tipping point. For the first time, Siddhartha realized. No amount of wealth can stop aging. No power can prevent sickness. No pleasure can escape death. And yet, somehow, this wandering man seemed free. That contrast struck him deeply. What if meaning isn't found in comfort, but in understanding suffering? That question would not leave him. At the age of 29, Siddhartha made a decision that would define his life. He left his palace at night. He said goodbye to his sleeping wife and newborn son. He removed his royal clothes. And he walked away into uncertainty. This was not an act of escape. It was an act of courage. He was not running from responsibility. He was answering a deeper one. In modern terms, this moment speaks directly to us. How many of us feel trapped in lives that look successful on the outside but feel hollow inside? How many of us feel an internal crisis building, quiet, persistent, and impossible to ignore? Siddhartha teaches us that listening to that crisis is not weakness, it's the beginning of transformation. For years, Siddhartha sought answers through extreme asceticism. He starved himself. He pushed his body to the edge of death. He believed that denying the body would free the mind. But it didn't. Instead, he grew weaker, more desperate, further from peace. And then came a crucial realization. Suffering does not end by creating more suffering. This insight led him to reject both extremes, luxury and self-punishment, and discover what he later called the middle way. This lesson matters deeply today. In a world obsessed with extremes, hustle or collapse, pleasure or burnout, Buddha reminds us that balance is not weakness. It is wisdom. Exhausted and close to death, Siddhartha sat beneath a Bodhi tree and made a vow. I will not rise from this place until I understand the nature of suffering and the way beyond it. What followed was not a miracle of noise, but of silence. He sat. He breathed. He watched his thoughts rise and fall. In that silence, he saw something revolutionary. Suffering does not come from the world itself. It comes from attachment, to desire, identity, fear, and illusion. And in letting go, freedom emerges. This was his enlightenment. not an escape from life, but a deeper understanding of it. Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha, the awakened one. But here is the most human part of the story. At first, he hesitated. He wondered whether anyone would understand what he had discovered, whether people were ready to hear it. Then compassion overcame doubt. He chose not to keep enlightenment for himself. He chose to teach. For over 40 years, the Buddha walked across villages and cities, sharing a simple but radical message. Life includes suffering. Suffering has a cause. Suffering can end. And there is a path to freedom. He taught mindfulness. He taught compassion. He taught presence. He taught that nirvana is not a place, but a state of freedom from clinging. And millions listened. Not because he demanded belief, but because he spoke to something deeply human. What this means for us today. In our modern, hectic lives, suffering looks different, but it feels the same. Burnout. Anxiety. Restlessness. A constant sense of not being enough. The Buddha's story reminds us that meaning is not found by running faster, but by seeing more clearly. Silence matters. Awareness matters. Letting go matters. Your internal crisis may not be a breakdown. It may be an invitation. Buddha's life teaches us that transformation begins when we stop numbing ourselves and start listening. Listening to discomfort. Listening to silence. Listening to the part of us that knows something must change. Every one of us will face an existential moment. The question is not whether it will come, but whether we will have the courage to sit with it and allow it to guide us toward a truer life. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe to Existential Moments, and tell us in the comments which great mind's existential journey you want us to explore next.